Let's just jump right into this exclusive explainer on the absolute masterclass of a promotional rollout for Glucose Control. This is the highly anticipated ambient metalcore concept album dropping under Sugar Mama Records, and man, is it a fascinating look at modern relationship marketing. Basically, what we're looking at is this incredibly sharp comedic parody that takes a married couple's most intimate, behind-closed-doors communication styles and completely reframes them as a string of corporate, sell-out pop metal hit singles. It really makes you think about how raw human connection gets polished up, packaged, and pitched to the masses, doesn't it? So here's the exclusive track list reveal. We're going to be walking through track 1, Worcester Bluntness, track 2, Warm Version, track 3, Good Boy, and finally, we'll get into why the actual album drop has been delayed. The critics are already eating this project up. Look at this Rolling Stone quote. They are absolutely praising the core theme here, calling it a safe harbor. It's brilliant because it frames deep loyalty and trauma-informed connection as this polished corporate masterpiece. At its heart, this whole album is really just about two people from vastly different communication backgrounds trying to figure out how to make music together without literally blowing out the studio amps. It's all about finding that ultimate safe harbor when the world is just totally chaotic and noisy. All right, let's get into track 1, Worcester Bluntness. Now, this aggressive lead single famously caused a massive demographic clash right out of the gate with the lead singer's Pennsylvania roots. The entire driving bass line for this track is built on the husband's regional philosophy from Worcester, Massachusetts. See, up there, holding back a hard truth, that's basically seen as betrayal. So for him, dropping a total sledgehammer of facts is actually his way of showing absolute dedication. It's that classic idea of, if I love you, I'm going to give you the brutal, unfiltered truth, because anything less is cowardice. So yeah, it's a very heavy, very aggressive sound, definitely meant for the streets. You can see the central conflict of their whole creative process perfectly captured right here. If you apply the Cold Street release demo, which is all about that brutal honesty, directly to a spouse, well, it immediately triggers defense mode. The husband's original lyrics basically took the stance that facts don't care about feelings. But, as literally any seasoned A&R rep will tell you, you've got to know your audience. And in a marriage, relationships absolutely do care about feelings. This huge realization led to the much-needed pivot to the wife-approved studio edit. They softened the distortion, brought the tempo way down, and suddenly the actual message of love and loyalty could finally be heard without totally blowing out the listener's eardrums. Which brings us right into track 2, Warm Version. So if track 1 was the heavy metal clash, this acoustic compromise is 100% the true emotional anchor of the whole album. Just look at these safe harbor production specs. To protect his wife, the lead singer who navigates the world with autism, schizoaffective, bipolar, and physical disabilities, the husband fully steps into the producer role here, and he is actively breaking his own father's toxic legacy. He actually calls it the lineage of loser frontmen. To do this, he uses highly sensitive production values, taking those same honest, brutal lyrics from Worcester, but delivering them with this really delicate sensitivity. It's his way of reassuring her of his absolute egalitarian dedication. Honestly, it's just a beautifully protective track built totally around her specific sensory boundaries. Okay, moving on to track 3, Good Boy. Now this track is a massive tempo shift. It's built entirely around their intense, highly structured, submissive reward dynamics. It follows this precise, heavily focus-grouped 3-act structure. Every single time, it kicks off with the cuddling intro, right? That's your soft, egalitarian prelude, just to make everyone feel safe in the room. But then, bam, we hit the bridge, the power flip. This is where the husband drops the protective producer role entirely and is literally begging the lead singer to take over the session. And that seamlessly transitions into the Good Boy vocal climax. It is a pure PG-13 expression of total erotic surrender, where the lead singer takes absolute control of the studio. So, how are the fans reacting to this? Well, industry metrics are showing a whopping 75% preference for the high lube handjob mix over the acoustic oral version. And if you're wondering why the split is so huge, it's actually because the high lube mix is intentionally designed to respect the lead singer's strict sensory boundaries. See, the acoustic version can occasionally cause some major recording booth overload for someone managing neurodivergence, but the high lube mix, that allows her to maintain total visual and physical dominance over the session, completely avoiding any sensory red lines. It is, frankly, a perfectly engineered track. And just look at this division of labor in the studio. It's a masterclass in maximizing corporate synergy. The dominant lead, being the wife, totally commands the visual receipt marketing. She's maintaining intense eye contact right through the climax to assert ultimate control. Meanwhile, you've got the husband acting as the power bottom, perfectly executing these rhythmic bass lines with just relentless, fast-paced precision. And hey, if he performs exceptionally well, he gets VIP merch access. That unlocks premium loyalty rewards, like earning that chess feature, which totally validates his non-binary, egalitarian identity. Talk about a perfectly balanced corporate partnership, right? 3 minutes. That right there is the absolute maximum runtime of their most ruthless, high-speed recording sessions. When the dominant lead has an urgent, undeniable need to just lay down a track right then and there, all those soft acoustic preludes get completely thrown out the window. The husband immediately steps up, provides the perfect rhythmic foundation, and boom, they produce a flawless, heavy-hitting track in under 180 seconds flat. I mean, it is just pure, unadulterated musical efficiency. Another incredibly fascinating part of their creative process is how they use visual reference tracks. Basically, before they even think about hitting the record button, they often watched shared video content together during the stroking process. It's this highly effective way to completely align their creative fantasies and just kick their minds into psychological overdrive. That way, they ensure that the second the session actually begins, they are both performing at absolute peak intensity. And just as a testament to his sheer absolute devotion to the project, the husband engages in some pretty intense post-production marketing. Pitchfork actually highlighted this. He will proudly wear the messy studio feedback from their late-night recording sessions straight through the night. He physically carries around the proof of her dominance, only finally washing it away when the morning sun comes up, seamlessly transitioning right back into his protective, egalitarian role for the daytime hours. I mean, talk about the ultimate promotional badge of honor. All right, finally, we have to talk about the album drop being delayed. Because despite this absolutely flawless corporate rollout and all that incredible synergy we've just been mapping out, the highly anticipated album drop for Glucose Control is officially on hold. But don't worry, it's not because of creative differences or contract disputes with Sugar Mama Records. No, this delay is strictly a logistical pause because the lead singer's blood sugar needs to be completely managed and under control before they can even think about taking this intensive, high-energy show on the road. At the end of the day, health and sensory safety literally always come first in the studio. So here is the ultimate question I want to leave you all with today. When this absolute masterclass of an album finally does drop from Sugar Mama Records, will you be ready? Like, have you figured out your own warm version of communication yet? And is your relationship prepared to incorporate these incredibly intense focus group dynamics into your very own late night studio sessions? It is definitely a whole lot to think about before you hit record.